Hi everyone, I'm Nick Norman. I'm a systems engineer, and I focus on the Sky Enterprise product. Thanks again for joining the Sky Enterprise webinar today. The presentation and demo will run for about 25 minutes. Everyone will be kept on mute. Please ask questions along the way using the questions dialog box. Our team is standing by to answer them. We will stay on the call after the presentation to review questions as well. The agenda for today's webinar, we're going to talk about reviewing configuration management in Sky Enterprise. Some key features that some of you may not have used before, features like configuration auditing and backups, as well as rolling back changes. Also, the ability to download an asset list of all your devices in Sky Enterprise. Then we're going to demonstrate restoring a device with cloud backed up config. We're also excited to talk about accessing the Junos command line via Sky Enterprise on more than just NFX devices. Sky Enterprise helps organizations with their disaster preparedness and DR plans by providing an automatic offsite config backup of their devices. You can view these config backups in Sky Enterprise under the Devices System and Monitoring tab. They're available to download for offline viewing and archival purposes. Here's an example of viewing a config backup in Sky Enterprise. Some of the highlights that Sky Enterprise provides related to config management are the ability to see who made the change and what that change was, even if it was done at the CLI. Juniper queues changes into what are called commits. You can view the commit changes and compare different commits to the current running config in Sky Enterprise as well. Administrators can enable commit confirmed under their Sky Enterprise settings. This allows the device to revert the change if the change caused the device to disconnect from Sky Enterprise. Another key benefit is how Sky Enterprise interacts with the device. It reads the config state just in time. This allows users to make changes at the CLI and/or other third-party tools along with Sky Enterprise. These changes are automatically updated in Sky Enterprise. Also, as new features are added, the relevant config will be read into Sky Enterprise automatically. This slide is an example of a device which has had changes made via Sky Enterprise and at the CLI. You can view any of these commits. The ability to roll back is supported via the action menu as well. Here we are showing a single commit, in this instance commit 5 versus commit 6. The pluses are things that were added, and the minuses are things that have been removed. Now we're going to show just a couple slides about device replacement before moving into the live device demo. Sky Enterprise notifies the administrator via email that a device has disconnected from Sky Enterprise. We can also see this in the Sky Enterprise in red on the device view and on the interactive map as well. The administrator would open a JTAC case and troubleshoot the device, and then at that time an RMA would be processed and the device would be shipped directly to the site. After using ZTP to connect the replacement device with the base config, we then input the config backup into the bulk update tool. The device and site are restored successfully. Okay, we're logged into Sky Enterprise. I can see here from the notification of the red that I have a device down in Bakersfield site, and also have this count of a single device down in my environment. I can use the interactive map here to filter on those devices just to see which one it is. Yep, this is the site that I have a JTAC case open, and they've dispatched an RMA device to the site. So I've asked the local personnel to power it on and plug in port 0 since it's an SRX 300. I'm going to go ahead and add a new device based on the serial number that JTAC's given me for the new device. I'm going to give it a name of RMA SRX 300, just so I know that's my RMA device. Pick it as a firewall. ZTP template, give it my serial number, and same thing, SRX 300. Create that device. Sky Enterprise generates the configlet for me in case I need to use that later. Now we're going to navigate to the ZTP section of Sky Enterprise. We can see here that Sky Enterprise is registering my serial number with the redirect server. We're in a state of entitle. Just take a few minutes. Go ahead and refresh our screen here. Perfect. So we've now transitioned to a start state, and the device is connected to Sky Enterprise and it's waiting for authorization. The email associated to the ZTP template would have received a link in email for authorization, but I'm going to authorize it in the platform. You can see here that I've authorized this device. While we're waiting on the device to go through its ZTP process, let's spend a little bit of time going through some of those other things we talked about in slides. Go back here and find another device that we can look at. Clear my search string. Let's go look at this SRX here. Under System and Monitoring, we can see various different commits. I can see users in Sky Enterprise that have made changes. In this instance, I made changes via the bulk update tool versus Alejandro's making some other changes. I can go in here and I can view this commit. So I can see just the comparison from this commit to commit 3, and pluses obviously addresses that were added. I also have the ability, if that was a problem, to roll back that commit. And I can show the difference between that commit and rollback 0. I can see here the difference is that this address book set has been taken away compared to the currently running config. I can also go into our config backup archive. I can see this device has lots of config backups that have been taken. So I can go to any of these backups and download them for offline archival purposes, or I can show those backups here in the platform and copy out if I needed to use that in the RMA process like we're doing today. Let's go back and check on our device. Okay, great. The device is back online from an RMA. Go ahead and copy out my configuration that I have saved in Sky Enterprise. I downloaded earlier. I want to navigate to the bulk update tool. I have a Junos type configuration. I'd like to do a replace of the current config. I'm going to pick my RMA device. The Sky Enterprise connector will be changing as part of this process, so I do expect that this job will show as a failure. Timed out, as expected. Navigate back to the devices screen. Great. Now we see that device is flipped over. At this point, I can clean up my RMA device. May also want to download an updated inventory spreadsheet. You can see in the report who generated and when. And I can see my new devices online. My new serial number from the RMA process. Some other items of note in this spreadsheet is the recommended release versus what the device is actually running. You can also see the uptime of the device, the last time it rebooted, whether backup is enabled, and the last time a backup was taken. Should also be able to navigate to our interactive map page and see all green. Green is good. A lot of that same information that we saw in the spreadsheet is available on our per device basis as well. So if I navigate back to the devices tab and I pick my device, show device details, you can see the host name, the model name, the IP address it connected from, how long it's been up. Last time I connected to Sky Enterprise, serial number here, and if I hover over the checkbox, we get a nice a green box there saying that we are running the recommended version of code on this device, D150 according to JTAC at this time. Quick link out to the release notes for that version of code. And then if this was not running the recommended version of code, we've got a nice easy button here to take us into the upgrade workflow. And then we also have the ability to download the latest configuration backup right here on the device details page versus navigating to the config archive section of Sky Enterprise. Another scenario I'd like to run through is using the rollback feature in Sky Enterprise and Juno. So we'll just run through what a mistake looks like. So here we have our device. We'll go ahead and select this guy, and we'll go to its interfaces. And we can see here that port 0 has our WAN interface, and that has a DHCP address. DHCP is enabled. We can see that by this green checkbox. So let's go to settings here and just make sure. Commit confirm is not enabled in Sky Enterprise. So let's go ahead and turn that on. We'll use a commit timer, rollback timer of 2 minutes. And then we'll jump back to our devices. Go back into our device. So maybe somebody was given a task and information maybe is written down incorrectly, or for some reason there was a mistake made, and somebody went in and edited the WAN interface, which is all of the traffic goes through that. This may be the untrust interface, its connection to Sky Enterprise. So we'll go ahead and get rid of DHCP and give ourselves an IP address outside of the subnet that this device is connected on. We'll go ahead and save that here. So I think it's important to note that I have commit confirm turned on, and that rollback timer is set to 2 minutes. So there's other vendors out there that have commit-based architectures, and what Juniper's I think has a little bit unique is this ability to roll back a change, and Sky Enterprise. So with the rollback timer, what will happen is Sky Enterprise will commit this change out to the device, essentially changing this interface from DHCP client to a family INET interface with an address of the 21.3 as I set there. And then that's be outside the subnet scope, so this device will lose its connectivity to Sky Enterprise. And at that point, connectivity would be impacted, but we've set that rollback timer to 2 minutes, and the change will get rolled back. I'm sure some of you on the call can relate to remotely troubleshooting devices. So this scenario, if not used or without a rollback timer, we can see here, we'll go to the main device page, but in this scenario, if it didn't have a rollback timer or you were forced to commit without the rollback timer by mistake, you'd essentially have to work with some type of local hands-on person, or you'd have to dispatch somebody to the site, and then you'd have to work with them either remotely or yourself being dispatched to the site potentially even via console. So you'd have to physically plug into the device to restore that untrust or that outside interface. Give it a few minutes here. Actually, let's maybe pull this console screen over. I have console on this device. So we can see here that the commit has gone in. The rollback timer was initially 2 minutes, and I hit enter there at the console screen, and I can see the message is telling me that the commit has gone in, and it will roll back in 1 minute if it lost access to Sky Enterprise. Just go ahead and take a look at the interface here. We can see that it has changed to a statically configured IP address on that interface, which is exactly what I told it to do. And we've now seen the device in Sky Enterprise go offline. It's lost its connectivity, so the second commit confirmed will not take place. Yeah, without a technology like commit confirmed, this can take quite some time to get the right equipment. If you need a console cable, they may not have the console cable, or they may need to find a console cable, go out and purchase one. And then once you have console access to the device to roll this change back, if that's what's needed, can be quite time consuming. There's a chance that maybe the trust side of this was not impacted, and you could walk through connecting somebody to the trust side of the device and rolling back this change. Can always be a little bit fun, as well as you kind of don't have access to see what the person sees, so it can make remote troubleshooting difficult as well. Trying to walk them through how to log in via SSH, or maybe turn on some graphic interface on the trust side for them to walk them through making that change. We can see here now we get a message. The commit was not confirmed, so rollback is taking place. Take a look at that interface again. We'll see, yep, now we're set back to DHCP client. So it'll go through the standard DHCP request acknowledged process to get an address on the network. Let's see if connectivity is restored. Yeah, and the device is back online. And we can see here the DHCP is enabled on the interface again. Great. Okay, just a couple more slides to finish out. I wanted to talk about a feature that you may have seen on the NFX platform coming soon to other devices in Sky Enterprise, the Junos command line. This will use the same connection that the device uses to connect to Sky Enterprise, so we're really excited about this feature. And under the support tab in Sky Enterprise, there is a link out to the Sky Enterprise feature request page. You can see here by the screenshot features that are already posted out there. Be sure to log in and create new feature requests, and as well vote on existing ones. Also, the juniper.net/try has a link to the Sky Enterprise free trial. We'll stand by for follow-up questions. Thank you everyone for attending today.